Hey everyone, we got a video coming at you today about the Theme Diamonds Master Set Night Train Lane. I'm going to share with you how to do the sets and how much they cost me, profit and loss, all sorts of fun stuff here. So you do need a bank to get started with it. I had about 170,000 coins when I first started. Here you see I did the Raiders first for some reason. The rest of them go in order for the most part, alphabetically, but I did the Raiders first, Nnamdi Asomugha. Start with your coins. You go in and you buy the players individually and add them to the set, the Raiders set, and you get the completion token. You add the token in there and continue to collect players and add tokens, and as you collect the cards, you auction them back. So the information on the screen, you can see the Chicago Bears, the Mike Brown is the set. It cost me $191,300 to do the set. The card sold for $140,000, and the power up, and depending on how it goes, you're either going to lose coins or make coins. The majority of these sets lost a lot of coins. So after I did a few, I knew it was going to be potentially a struggle to even break even by doing this. This set is nothing like the first set, the Theme Diamonds 1, where you get Kurt Warner. A lot less players involved, usually 12, 13, or 14 cards rather than 20 to 32 cards or whatever it was on the first thing, in the first Theme Diamonds. But the reward, obviously, pretty great. Night Train Lane, who's auctioning me for almost 1 million coins right now, if not over 1 million coins. So that was my motivation in doing this. And unlike last time where, the Theme Diamonds won for Kurt Warner, in the sets, you're actually making coins, half and half, sometimes even more times than not making coins on the sets than you lose. And this Theme Diamonds 2, you're actually losing a lot more coins than you're making. So I'll share with you the final numbers at the end of the video here. I don't know exactly what the problem is. I think it's just the market is saturated with these players. I mean, if these players had came out a month ago, if they done this promotion, it would have been far more lucrative. But Josh Cribbs, why would you want Josh Cribbs when you have Tyreek Hill, and you have Devin Hester out there? There's even a Dante Hall out there floating around, so no one really, the players are kind of, you just don't really need them, and unless you have a theme team, a lot of these players aren't really must-haves, The majority of the people out there already have their position solidified where you really need players. As far as Simeon Rice looks attractive, but you probably already have your two ends. You probably already have a few good corners. So it's kind of like they're just not as valuable as some of the cards were a couple months ago. Market's definitely down in that regards. The majority of these cards sold for between 150 and 170, I would say. Coins. So all my stats here are every time I take into account the cards sold or the power up sold, it's after they take out the 10% for the auction. So the majority of the sets cost over 150,000, some even over 200,000, and it can just be extremely difficult to make any sort of profit. Unlike Theme Diamonds 1, where the power ups were higher value, now the majority of the power-ups are selling for under 5,000 coins. So that in itself made it extremely difficult to turn a profit on this, because in Theme Diamonds 1, you would be getting 20,000, 30,000 for each power-up, and now it's kind of like no one cares about those anymore, and I'm not sure why, but that's just sort of the way it's been. There's only a couple power-ups that went for pretty good coin. The Bengals' Taylor Mays went for 45,000 when I sold him, and other than that, everything else is pretty much well under 5,000. The Nnamdi Asomugha went for almost 16K, so that was good. But other than that, very low, overall As far as some of the cards that were the best, I mean, they're all pretty similar. And I don't know why. I don't know if the market turned on me when I was working on this video. I worked on it over the course of probably the last 3 to 4 days. And, you know, that's really all I can tell you about that. The bottom line here is that, you know, this is not something you can do with just a couple 100,000 coins unless you're playing and, you know, buying packs as you go. You really need to accumulate coins to just break even and get these sets done. Starting off with 200,000 coins is not going to cut it. You need something more like 500 or 600,000 to really make a dent in these sets. You know, and the problem with doing this is obviously you're completing a set and you're collecting a player and you're auctioning that player off. And then there's the fee, the 10% fee that comes out, so you have to factor that in. And ultimately, you know, it's a waiting game. If you're doing one set at a time, you know, you're waiting for that player, the one player to sell so you get those coins back so you can, you know, continue working on the next set, you know, buying the players that go into that set. So that's the difficult part about it, is playing the waiting game, unless, of course, you do have, you know, the coins that are necessary. I mean, if you could finish, I mean, every set costs almost 200,000. So, I mean, if you had 600K, you complete 3 at once, and you're constantly rotating and auctioning the players, you could probably finish this fairly quickly in about 5 hours or so. But like I said, it's really just the waiting game for these people to buy your cards that you're auctioning. And, you know, like I said, the 10% comes out, so you have to factor that in too, of course. So let's see, where are we right now? We are just finishing up the Falcons here, and if I'm correct here, coming up you'll see that, and I really didn't run into this too much, but I ran into an issue where people were, you know, it rarely happens, but sometimes, you know, there's a card that you're working on getting for the set isn't available, or somebody's hijacked a few of the cards and jacked up the price. You'll see here coming up in a second, when I get into doing the Giants set, that the Nate Soldier card was just hoarded. I mean, somebody bought, I'm assuming somebody, because, I mean, yeah, there's a Nate Soldier out, but, you know, this particular card's 85 overall. Here it is here. He's, you know, he's going for 90K or whatever. I mean, that's insane for an 85 overall card at this point. And, you know, what are you going to do? He's hijacked that card, so you can't complete that set until that thing goes down. So I played the waiting game, completed a few other sets before going and finding them here. But I do include that in the video here in a minute or so. So we'll take a peek at that. I mean, you can see that in this Power Up Tony Baselli, 990 coins, you know, after 675 coins for the Klecko. Like, you got to be kidding me. How are you going to make a profit? I mean, nobody wants to power these players up. I don't understand. I mean, maybe I'm a sucker because I power up a lot of my players, pretty much all, you know, I know who I want, and, you know, I keep, you know, 3-4 power-ups of each position. Then when the new player comes out, I go ahead and add it. And it's kind of like a cycle like that. There you see there, I finally grabbed the Nate Soldier, 65K or whatever it was. But that's just insane for a tackle. And you see, as I'm working on these here, you see the Baselli comes off the board with the auction. You know, you're constantly completing a set, going into your item binder. You know, you hit the L1 button. I'm on PlayStation 4. I don't know what it would be on the Xbox. Probably that the left trigger, and or LB or whatever it is. And you know, you look up what that card's going for, and you back out, go back into your item binder, and then you can auction it like that. As far as, you know, being in your item binder, you can also click the L1 over the card to do the search auction. You can see sort of where your card is ranked in, you know, the grand scheme of things. Maybe a couple other people have come in and listed for less than you, and if you want to continue doing this and you know, make some good time, you know, sometimes you have to go in and cancel your auction in that screen, you know, by finding yours and clicking on it and hitting cancel auction. And then what you could do is just go ahead and relist it for lower than some of these other people. That's, of course, if you know, not looking to get top dollar, but just looking to continue making sales here with these cards. So this is something that's all very exciting, and ultimately, you know, it's a big time grind to do all these sets. You know, there's Chris Jenkins, Power Up sold for 810. You know, you can't make this stuff up. But like I said, the power-up's not nearly as valuable. The cards not nearly as valuable as I once believed they would be. Going into it, you know, before I even did this, I knew it was going to be a grind. I knew it was going to be difficult to turn a profit overall. We actually do turn a profit here, even though, you know, we're losing anywhere from, you know, a few thousand to 50,000 to even 85,000 coins that we lost on that giant set because of the name Soldier. But you know, there are a couple of these, you know, a couple of these sets that we made a profit on, and I want to tell you guys about the set pieces that you do with the challenges. So, you know, I think it's I don't know if it's 80. You gotta get 80 stars, and you get a third set piece. You get 120 stars. You get a second set piece. There you can see there the second set piece I used on the Redskin, the Schrafe, because he was going for like 53K at the time, and it worked out perfect timing. So I used the McCoy. LeSean McCoy was my first set piece for the Eagles set, and the second set piece is here with the Schrafe for the Redskins. And then the first set piece comes out and works out well right at the end of the video when I do the Vikings, because Kirk Cousins was the name of the game for that first set piece. And I actually did a little research prior to doing this, so I knew that he was one of the pieces that was going for the most coins. So doing a little bit of research there helped as well, you know, for saving some coins and you know, not blowing the load. As far as sets that I actually did make a profit on, the Raiders plus 16 coins, a whole 16 coins, very exciting. The Redskins, because we used that second set piece, 10,700 positive coins. The Vikings, of course, because you used that first set piece, 18,000 plus coin profit. The Bengals, I don't know if I just hit it at the right time with Taylor Mays, but a lot of people like that card. 11,591 there. The Chargers, positive of 1,455 for Antonio Cromartie, and that's it. So that's five total that had a positive outlook out of all these. So that is all very exciting. You know, so as you're doing these, kind of scary. I was thinking I was going to lose a truckload of coins here, and but I was also thinking, hey, at the end of this, I'm going to have, you know, 1 million coins, no matter what. But it cost me a lot of coins to do it. So was it worth it? I don't know. Not really. Unless you got, you know, some time into a good coin bank, I don't really see the point of doing it. More stressful than anything. And coming up here, you're going to see some final numbers here pretty quick. We're on the Titans, and they're one of the last squads before the Vikes. Here the Vikes are, and this is me showing you that journey, the Diamond Fantasy Pack here for that first set piece. And I go all the way to the end here, and I take the Kirk Cousins, just because, like I said, I had done a little research. I knew he was going for a lot, and it was the smartest way to go as far as making coins went, or you know, best bang for the buck. So that was the last card I needed. I already put all the cards into the Vikings. I don't know if you folks noticed, but I didn't do the Packers set. I did that for a reason, because I actually wanted to hang on to Gilbert Brown. And so what I did is I did him last. I did the Packers last. Here's that set coming in here. And I power him up, and I kept him. So I don't even have the numbers for you on the Packers set and the Gilbert Brown. So excluding that, the set totals, you know, negative 834,000 coins, and then 42,236 on the positive side of things on just those 5 sets. So the other 27 was the negative 800, and all that you get the lane. Here comes the Night Train lane. So overall, subtracting those two totals I just gave you from one another, the set cost me 792,475 coins. The card ultimately sold for 891,900, and the power-up sold for 34,515. The profit is 133,940 coins total. And of course, there's the soul right there. And of course, you know, I hung on to the Gilbert Brown as power-up and actually powered him up. And last thing here, I bought the Patrick Willis. I've been wanting him for a long time, since the winter when the Ghost of Madden's passed. Thanks a lot for watching my video, guys. Please subscribe, and happy maddening.